on SportsCenter. The Lions could be without number 32 on Sunday. Reggie Harris finds out that 4 is better than 5. And there's no longer a number 3 at the U.S. Open. The WNBA trims 4 to 2, and these two cities will forever be linked in baseball lore.
The Boston Braves were probably the most quickly forgotten major league team in history.
Jeff Gordon could turn 1 into 1 million. Our own Boomer turns 2 minutes into 3.5, and you'll never guess who he's picking for the Super Bowl. Bill Parcells plays his own numbers game with the Jets roster, so come play with us for the next 60 minutes on SportsCenter next.
Welcome one and all. Kenny Mayne here with Larry Biel and Pam Ward, not pictured, but she will be soon. And now to those who won't be any longer at the U.S. Open.
Yes, you can wave goodbye to the number 3 seed. Mark Woodford, he's been a champion at the U.S. Open in each of the past 2 years, playing doubles, that is. Today he was all by himself, and that was plenty. Woodford starting to make a name for himself playing singles. Remember, he beat Andre Agassi a couple of weeks ago. Today he was gunning for the upset of Yevgeny Kafelnikov. Second round action at the U.S. Open in New York. Here's Woodford in the far court as they go back and forth. This is one of the best points of the match. Kafelnikov will come in. Oh, loses it. Kafelnikov goes down and out 6-3, 6-4, 7-6. But was it a surprise?
I've beaten him before, so it's not like this is any humongous, you know, that the guy should be thrown out of the US because he's lost to Mark Woodford. I mean, I have beaten him before, and you know, that worked well for me, and I just believe that I could beat the guy.
I knew it's going to be very difficult, but like you said, maybe, you know, I didn't took it so seriously from the beginning. Having that break in the beginning of the match, maybe I just bounced back. You know, I thought it's going to be easy for me, but you know, he just played extraordinarily good match today. You know, you have to give him credit.
Kafelnikov won't be thrown out of the U.S., but he is out of the U.S. Open. Other results, Andre Agassi wins, easily handling Adrian Voinea 6-love, 6-2, and 6-2. Wayne Ferreira knocked off Tim Henman in straight sets. Remember, it was Henman who beat Thomas Muster earlier, also advancing Rafter and Pioline. On to the ladies. Number 2 seed Monica Seles against Miriam Oremans of Holland. Seles in the near court, little drop shot. Oremans gets to it, but look at Monica go cross court, 6-1, 6-1, but she knows she has to play better to beat Martina Hingis.
I think I just feel more comfortable when I step on the court, because when you're not so sure where your balls are going to go, you don't feel as comfortable when you step out there. Now at least I feel that I worked hard, and I feel I can control my shots. If I hit a great shot, I might not miss 4 other ones. It'll be maybe 2-2, which before the ratio was even better. But if I keep being consistent with my workouts, hopefully I can get back that ratio that Hingis has right now.
In addition to Monica, other winners include 9th seed Mary Pierce, 7-6, 6-1 over Natasha Zvereva. Sandrine Testude won in straight sets over Elena Wagner, and the 11th seed Irina Spurlea was also a winner in straight sets. Kenny?
Our football guy Chris Mortensen reports Deion Sanders has been pronounced fit for duty in the Dallas opener Sunday at Pittsburgh. Sanders fielded punts and worked on some pass coverage in practice today. His bulging disc is behaving, and Sanders will be starting at corner. A couple quick notes on 2 others. The Mark Brunell miracle recovery continues. He ran a straight line today for the first time since his knee injury, and instead of missing most of the season, he may be listed as the 3rd quarterback for Jacksonville by week 3 of the season. Pittsburgh quarterback Cordell Stewart says his left knee is now 90 to 95% normal. He's starting against Dallas Sunday. He'd like to do so without a brace, but the team wants it on to be safe.
Michael Westbrook has been the talk of the NFL recently for his hit on a Redskin teammate. Bryant Westbrook is the Lions defensive back, the rookie, who probably won't be hitting anybody this Sunday. Bryant Westbrook pulled a groin muscle on Wednesday, and in the words of his coach Bobby Ross, unless he's a fast healer or makes a remarkable recovery, Westbrook is doubtful for Sunday's season opener against Atlanta. Westbrook held out the first 27 days of training camp in a contract dispute with the Lions, came on strong late to win the starting spot at left corner before getting hurt. Craig Jeffries will start if Westbrook can't go. Offensive lineman Glenn Parker played in 4 Super Bowls with Buffalo, has signed a 3-year deal with KC. The 6'5", 305-pounder plays guard or tackle, cut by the Bills last weekend. Kenny?
4 Missouri football players have been given the hook for the season opener next week. Instead, they're being hauled into the coach's office Sunday to determine their future. Coach Larry Smith suspended defensive starters Donnell Jones and Harold Piercy and 2 backups on offense, Nathan Proctor and Ricky Ross. The suspensions are for team rules violations or indefinite suspensions pending the Sunday sit-down with Coach.
On Monday, former big league pitcher Steve Howe was released from the hospital after suffering serious injuries in a motorcycle accident that occurred on August the 19th. Today, Howe was charged with drunken driving. Howe suffered collapsed lungs and a ruptured trachea in the crash, which occurred near his home near Whitefish, Montana. Howe's had a history of drug and alcohol problems. He was also charged with operating a motorcycle without a license. Kenny?
National League President Leonard Coleman showed a bit of leniency in the Reggie Harris case. Thus, the Philadelphia pitcher will serve a 4 rather than 5-game suspension. Harris nailed Atlanta's Andrew Jones with a pitch back in June. He was given a suspension and fined $1,000 for what was found to be an intentional throw. The reduced suspension starts immediately, and Harris can play again this coming Tuesday.
What do we do with a designated hitter? Baseball owners have an idea. Get rid of it. The owners are preparing for next month's vote on realignment. They've proposed getting rid of the designated hitter, which is used only in the American League. The DH has been around since 1973, but some AL owners would like to scrap it to save money. Players Union head Donald Fear is completely opposed to the idea of eliminating the DH. As he told ESPN on Wednesday, he sees absolutely no reason to change things. Kenny?
We're going back to olden times for our cover story this evening, feeling nostalgic as the Braves visit Boston. It's where they came from to begin with.
The Boston Braves were probably the most quickly forgotten major league team in history.
I don't know if they realize down here just how long the Braves were in Boston. They were from 1871 to the 1952 season, 80 some odd years.
We will do the 2-minute drills shortly here on SportsCenter. Mark Brunell still has a little more time to plan his playlist. The Houston Comets are in the title game, but what about Wanda Guyton? Hard hit in the semis. And that takes us right to hockey. The Kings have taken the Bruins' leading scorer away. Actually, they didn't take him away. It was like a negotiated deal. Stay around.
Don't miss summer's last blast during the Labor Day sale going on now through Monday at Best Buy. You'll find all TVs, camcorders, major appliances, home audio, and lots more all on sale. But hurry, when the weekend's over, so's the sale. Best Buy's Labor Day sale. Now that's a great idea.
You're a judge at America's most prestigious beer competition. You can't see anything. Can't see the labels. All you've got to go on is taste. So who wins the gold medal for best tasting American premium lager? Original Coors. Close your eyes and taste the one that won for taste. Original Coors.
At the track, the crew of 20 keeps my car running at peak performance. But at the Gordon Garage, I'm the crew. So to get every ounce of performance out of the family ride, I use new Slick 50 Synchron synthetic fuel system treatment. It cleans and treats your entire fuel system so your car runs at its best for up to 5,000 miles. Hey, my race car will last to run good for 500 miles.
Use new Slick 50 Synchron synthetic fuel system treatment. It's the 5,000-mile performer. And try new Synchron synthetic engine treatment for premium engine protection.
SportsCenter is brought to you by new Slick 50 Synchron Fuel System Treatments, the 5,000-mile performer.
A day after reacquiring the fan favorite Luc Robitaille, the LA Kings at it again today. They completed a 5-player deal with the Boston Bruins. The Bruins sending forward Joseph Stumple and Sandy Moger and a 4th-round pick to the Kings for left-winger Dmitry Kristich and goalie Byron Defoe. Kristich was the Kings' leading scorer last year. Stumple was Boston's leading scorer with 76 points. Well, forget about Dean Smith. The most successful coach at North Carolina is the women's soccer coach, Anson Dorrance, who owns a career record of 390 victories, 16 losses, and 10 ties. Included in there, 13 NCAA championships. Also included now is a reprimand from the NCAA because of Dorrance's conduct during last year's NCAA final, which occurred back in December. By the way, the Tar Heels won that championship also. Dorrance berated game officials. He has been suspended from 1 NCAA playoff game. Kenny?
The New York Liberty and most all the Houston Comets are getting set to go after one another tomorrow in the first ever WNBA title game. The exception on the Comet side is forward Wanda Guyton, who is listed as doubtful for the title game after slamming her head to the floor in last night's semifinal. Those awful pictures coming soon, but first the setup. Cynthia Cooper for Houston trying to get back against Charlotte, down 8 points. Cooper off the screen, then the dribble. Ricola hits the three. Cooper had 17 in the first half. Second half now, game tied at 48, and here's where it got nasty. Tina Thompson, Wanda Guyton, their teammates, they go slamming together. Thompson conks Guyton in the head with an elbow, then Guyton hard to the floor. Comets obviously concerned about their teammate. Guyton had to leave the game, diagnosed with a slight concussion and iffy for the title game. After Guyton's injury, the Comets put it away. Cooper, another three. She had 31, the league MVP, leading the comeback win, and Charlotte's 70-54 losers. Houston moves on. New York and Phoenix, the other semifinal. Cheryl Miller and Phoenix with a 7-game home winning streak, but the Liberty pulling away in the second half. The good passing. Then it's Kim Hampton underneath, finishes it up. Ended up with 14 points and 14 boards. Rebecca Lobo all over the place, cleaning up the mess on the missed shot. She gets the bucket, 16 points. And the Liberty go on to the title game against Houston. ESPN Radio is the place to hear the title game. Robin Roberts and Gino Ariema taking on the mic at 3:30 Eastern Saturday. They'll say things like left to right on your radio dial. We got more SportsCenter coming. Al Leiter back in shape to throw for the Marlins tonight, and they need him back in form on the mound. And our cover story coming soon. Boston has 2 home teams this weekend. The Braves are back in town.
Take your superstar running back. If he has a good game, he'll run for over 100 yards. If he has a great game, 200 yards. And that's with some heavy hitting. Now take a professional tennis player. In an average match, she'll run between 3 and 4 miles. And that, too, includes some heavy hitting. The 1997 U.S. Open. See the new Arthur Ashe Stadium and some of the greatest athletes in the world. For tickets, call 1-888-OPEN-TICKS. Get in the game.
Masquerade Village at the Rio. You won't believe your eyes. The only place to play in Las Vegas, the Rio.
A lot of college football, one plan: get cloned, get tickets, and hit the road. Here's a better game plan.
ESPN Game Plan.
Every week, college football games from conferences you can't normally see. Sent right to you.
The ESPN Game Plan. It can't be duplicated.
Check Friday's USA Today for Saturday's game plan.
The Dodgers are in the midst of an exciting playoff chase, and as they keep an eye on the second-place Giants, they're also keeping an eye on one of their own. Again, concerned for the health of Brett Butler, and with the story now, Pam Ward. Pam?
But not the bad news that they got last year, certainly, about Butler. Brett Butler did have his sore neck looked at again today. Doctors believe the problem to be a soft tissue infection and not related to the tonsil cancer that sidelined him for most of last season. The 40-year-old outfielder missed his second straight game last night, but is in uniform for tonight's Dodgers game against the A's. Brett Butler hitting .293 with 16 RBI and 14 stolen bases in what he says will be his final major league season. Meanwhile, Expos outfielder Vladimir Guerrero scratched from last night's game with the Cardinals as a sore back. He is listed as day-to-day. Mets pitcher Armando Reynoso. His season is over. Reynoso underwent surgery earlier today to clean up the areas around his right shoulder and elbow. Reynoso 6-3 with a 4.53 ERA this year for the Mets. Al Leiter has been activated off the Marlins' 15-day DL. He will start tonight in Toronto. The former Blue Jay had been sidelined by a pulled groin muscle for the past couple of weeks. Marlins still in the driver's seat for the NL wild card and just 4.5 games behind Atlanta for first place in the East. Marlins spend the weekend in Toronto, while the Giants, now 2.5 games behind LA in the West, finish up a series with the A's tonight, play Anaheim tomorrow. The Mets are in Baltimore 4-3. The Angels' best shot at a playoff spot comes in their own division because they're only 2 games behind the Mariners in the West. Yankees hosting the Expos tonight, Dwight Gooden against Carlos Perez. Angels in San Diego, tossing Ken Hill against Pete Smith. Fenway Park is holding a Turn Back the Clock weekend starting tonight as the Red Sox welcome back the franchise that left town 45 years ago. Several former Boston and Milwaukee Braves will be on hand for this weekend's festivities, and the now Atlanta Braves and Red Sox will wear old uniforms, the Sox from 1908, the Braves from 1912. Peter Gammons takes a look back now at a time when two teams called Boston home.
Come and get your relaxation and your outdoor stimulation, for you'll agree to what we have to say. When the umpire shouts, "Play ball!" it's the greatest thrill of all. So come out to Gravesfield and watch the Boston Braves play.
Where they once played now is Boston University's football stadium. But the entrance to Old Braves Field is designated an historic place in a city steeped in history. They come back to Boston as America's team, but there are still those New Englanders who remember their forefathers' last hurrah. And the 48 Braves, Bob Elliott and Tommy Holmes, and Spawn and Sane and Pray for Rain, played the Cleveland Indians in the World Series. Charlie Chronopoulos, 10 years the Braves bat boy, remembers.
There was a lot of people that loved the Braves during the 48, and he'll say, I think they drew over 2 million people that year. That was exciting to see that ballpark filled up night after night, day after day.
The Braves even beat Bob Feller 1-0 in the opener, but the Indians won 4 out of the last 5 games and the series. Even in winning their first pennant in 34 years, there was a reality that a dozen blocks across the Fens, the Red Sox still outdrew the Braves by more than 100,000.
The ballpark was deteriorating, and the concrete was crumbling, and the crowds weren't coming in.
Fenway was always that much better a place to go see a ball game. It was like hearing a concert at Symphony Hall. If you had a choice between going to the Orpheum or to Symphony Hall, where would you go?
Fenway Park, no matter where you sat, was the place to be. It was an event in its own way to come to a ball game here.
During the 1953 spring training, the Braves players got the news. They were moving to Milwaukee.
About 2 days before spring training broke, they say, guys, we're moving to Milwaukee. And they got a new stadium up there, and it was a shock.
One can look around this 21st century sports entertainment complex known as Turner Field and appreciate that when Lou Perini took the Braves out of Boston, he altered the course of baseball history. In fact, Walter O'Malley later said that he got the idea to move the Dodgers from Perini. From 1901 to 1952, 16 teams remained in their original cities. In the next 9 years, beginning with the Braves, 7 of those 16 teams moved. The move to Milwaukee worked for a while. The stars the Braves worked so hard to develop, Henry Aaron, Eddie Matthews, Warren Spahn, Bill Crandall, were a dominant team the rest of the 50s, winning 2 pennants in the 1957 World Series and drawing as many as 2.2 million fans. By 1965, however, they were down to barely more than 500,000, and in 1966 had moved on to Atlanta.
Interest had dropped off, and I think some of it was because of the location. Also, one year they decided you couldn't bring any beer in.
They may not have been terribly successful in their 82 Boston seasons, but no one will ever say the Braves didn't try. They regularly had marching bands, what old-timers say were the best fried clams in town. They gave away cars, like this 47 Packard. During one 2-week road trip, they imported bulldozers, took out 1,500 tons of sod, and lowered the entire field 18 inches, just to give spectators better sight lines.
They were always on the cutting edge here in terms of developments for the fans. They were also the first club to broadcast their games on the radio, both home and the road. They were Avis. They were trying harder all the time.
Consumers and the total entertainment package are what Turner Field are all about. The park opens 3 hours before game time. Adults can eat, drink, and watch just about anything from anywhere, all the while watching the Braves or any other game on television. Kids can play interactive games, run bases, and study original scouting reports on more than 200 major leaguers.
We're bringing a lot of new customers in, and we're trying to attract more of them. Many of them are the so-called MTV generation, who didn't grow up with the pastoral beauty of our game, who really need to be entertained.
45 years ago, the Braves could not compete with the Red Sox, first because historically the Red Sox had stars like Ted Williams and the Red Sox had the ballpark. New Englanders will forever wonder what would have happened had Perini been successful in building a new park in 1951, as he tried, and Aaron, Matthews, and Spahn had played their glory days in Boston. And whether, since by the 60s Yawkey wanted out of Fenway, it might have been the Red Sox who left. As Bostonians wonder if Mo Vaughn will soon leave like the Braves and Roger Clemens, and they see Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine and company, they are struck by the juxtaposition of the ballparks and the franchises.
The sports in the 90s is all about your venue, and your venue is the key, and we have seen it in all sports, but in no sport is it more important than in baseball.
I don't know if they realize down here just how long the Braves were in Boston. They were from 1871 to the 1952 season, 80 some odd years.
The Boston Braves were probably the most quickly forgotten major league team in history.
I think about it a lot. It's a great tale of two cities, two fine cities.
And though the Braves are fondly remembered by many in Boston, they did only draw 281,000 fans in their final year there. The Braves, of course, have won 2 world championships since they left in 1952, during which time the Red Sox haven't won, well, any. We can all attend the final game of this Braves-Red Sox series. It's our Sunday night baseball game of the week. Massachusetts native Tom Glavine, scheduled to start for Atlanta on Sunday night. Be there. It all starts at 8 Eastern Time. Still ahead on SportsCenter, you're not getting older, you're getting richer. George Foreman heads back to the ring. And in racing, Jeff Gordon has a million more reasons to win this weekend's NASCAR race in Darlington. More coming up on SportsCenter.
So I'm at Taco Bell, and guess who walks through the door? Lady Luck.
Lady Luck.
For the large Pepsi.
Come talk to me. Well, you heard the lady.
Order a medium or large drink and play the Ropa Jeep Wrangler game. You could win one of 100 Jeep Wranglers.
Sweet.
We're giving away not 1, not 10, but 100 Jeep Wranglers. Plus, you could win $250,000 in cash or one of millions of food and cash prizes.
Isn't she something?
Play Ropa Jeep Wrangler, only at Taco Bell.
In a GMC Yukon, you may welcome a little challenge. A little mountain climbing. With horsepower that leads its class, Yukon dominates the road.
Even towing feels like child's play.
Yukon by GMC. It puts you comfortably in command. Unleash the beast. Unleash the beast. Unleash the beast. Milwaukee's best.
Your heart pounds. Your head rings. Your palms sweat. Imagine how the drivers feel. CART, Championship Auto Racing Teams. Feel the speed.
We're back with car racing. If Jeff Gordon wins this week, he gets a T-shirt and $1 million. Qualifying here, the Southern 500 and 24 cars zipping around. Gordon good for row 4, 7th best in qualifying. Biel Elliott wins the most popular driver award every year. This time around, he's circled to be 2nd. Row 1 is where he's starting in Sunday's event, but not number 1. Your pole sitter, the second guy on the track Friday screaming around, is Bobby Labonte, driving for Joe Gibbs. 170 and change. He's the pole sitter for Sunday's race. Bobby Labonte with his 2nd pole of the season. His Pontiac followed by 3 Fords. Biel Elliott missed the top spot by 25,000th of a second. Dale Jarrett starts on row 2 after his win last week. And the current points leader, Mark Martin, qualified 4th for Sunday's race, which, by the way, you can see on ESPN. 1 Eastern on Sunday, the Mountain Dew Southern 500. A win Sunday would make Jeff Gordon the 2nd driver to capture the Winston Million and the one and only to take the Southern 500 3 straight times. The $1 million bonus goes to any driver who captures 3 of the 4 Cup Series majors. And only Biel Elliott, in the first year the big dough was offered, has cashed in. $1 million doesn't go as far as it did back in 1985, but Gordon's not exactly digging under the couch cushions for milk money these days, so it's honor and glory on the line. And John Kernan at the track with our report.
In victory lane at Darlington, South Carolina.
How do you prepare for the World Series? You can't. You know, how do you prepare any harder than we prepared last week?
Jeff Gordon wins the Mountain Dew Southern 500 for 1996.
This is Darlington.
I'd say he's got probably as good a shot as anybody to come out here and win this thing.
I think there's a couple of reasons why it means a lot. First, obviously, Winston putting up $1 million for one event. I mean, that's huge. And the second is that it's only been done one time, and that's what makes it so prestigious. And you know that a lot of guys have tried, but very few have succeeded. And we want to be the second one to do it.
I think it's past time. I mean, looking at the whole deal, it's been. The Winston Million was a real neat deal. There's a point in time it came along, and still, to be 12 years later, I'm surprised nobody's won it at this point.
In those 12 years, 5 men have had a shot at the sport's rarest feat. So why has only one man succeeded? Perhaps it's the fact that the final hurdle en route to the $1 million check comes at the toughest track of them all, Darlington.
I'm in the wall.
For Jeff Gordon and the Rainbow Warriors, the track too tough to tame has been very tame. 4 straight top 3s, 3 of those wins, and 2 straight victories in the Southern 500. A third Labor Day win in a row would move Gordon out of a very elite group and into a league of his own.
This is a tough racetrack, and it's really easy to wear your tires and your equipment out in a hurry. And we've been through some of those growing pains the first couple years. So as a team, I think we've all come together and just, I've tried to learn the way around here and to be able to go on long green flag runs and have the best car at the end of that run.
Jeff Gordon's a very, very smart person. I don't know what his IQ is, but I can guarantee you it's pretty high, because he'll go out and analyze things and come back in and tell you things that you think, he hasn't been racing that long. There's no way he could figure that out. But he does. He has an amazing ability to adapt and figure out racetracks.
I think when you win here, they say, I think the driver gets a lot of credit because you cannot get the car just right. I think that to the drivers, this is still a big event to win, and I think it still holds its prestige throughout the garage area and really throughout the NASCAR Winston Cup media and everybody, all the fans, everybody feels like this is a big event.
You go to win every race, and if it was $10 million, that'd be great, but we sure couldn't try any harder than we've tried for everything this year.
We also know we've got a championship on the line, and that's what our main goal for this year is. But it would be sweet to be able to come out here and win it. And $1 million is $1 million, and that's a lot of money no matter who you're talking to.
Hey, we told you Bill Elliott won the Winston Million by winning 3 of the 4 majors, including the Southern. 3 others fell short at Darlington. Dale Jarrett was 14th last year, Davey Allison 5th in 1992, and Darrell Waltrip missed the big cash when he ended up 22nd back in 1989.
Evander Holyfield survived Mike Tyson's teeth, and as we told you first last night on ESPN, on November the 8th, he will try to survive Michael Moore's fists. A Holyfield-Moorer heavyweight title fight is set for the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. Now remember, Moorer beat the real deal in a championship bout back in April of '94. The WBA champion Holyfield will make $20 million in this bout. The IBF champ Moorer will take home about $8 million. Now also getting back in the ring, the ageless wonder George Foreman. Foreman fights November the 22nd at Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut against a guy by the name of Hasim "The Rock" Rahman. Sounds better when you call him The Rock. He's got a record of 23-0. Foreman at 75. No, that's not his age. That's his victory total, 75-4. Big George actually 48 years old. When SportsCenter continues, can Curtis Enos carry Penn State to the national championship this year? The 3 amigos of college football will talk it over. And has Andre rediscovered his game at the U.S. Open? We'll check out more action from round 2 as SportsCenter continues.
Watch. Varsity football player approaching, looking for the perfect shoe to work out in. Nike Air backfield and the warm-up suit. Cross-country runner just outside, looking for a shoe to help him letter. Adidas Oswego with shirt and shorts. Giddy up. This just in. Basketball player still 2 weeks away. Thinking about a state championship? Gonna want a shoe that'll take him all the way. Reebok and U-Hawk.
Our people at Foot Locker are so good at getting you into exactly the right shoes, it's uncanny.
What is it now? You're on my foot.
Get it right at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
Welcome to Park Avenue, the ultimate urban environment. So quiet, it shuts out urban unpleasantness. So beautiful, it improves the neighborhood. Even the most elegant street in America, which, incidentally, seems to have been named after our new car. The all-new Park Avenue by Buick. The power of understatement.
The NASCAR Ride-Along program puts you in the action.
Oh, this is great. What? He said this is great. Yeah? Yeah. Pepper really seems to be enjoying himself today. He might want to get his head back in the window. You think so? Yeah.
NASCAR on ESPN. Come along for the ride.
Come on, pass that guy. Pass that guy. Okay.
Welcome back to SportsCenter. Chris Fowler along with Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit on the eve of the 128th season of college football. The year begins with no clear frontrunner. 9 different teams between the 2 major polls receive first-place votes. When that's happened in the past, 84, controversy, BYU #1. 91, split national champion. 94, Nebraska was #1, but it was controversial. Penn State was 12-0 and unrewarded. So maybe another year like those years. Who do you see as being #1?
Nebraska. I like Nebraska. They've been in 3 of the last 4 national championship games. They won 2 in a row. Then they had a little complacency last year, but they're dealing with something that I love. Sense of urgency and redemption.
And the quarterback, Scott Frost, has a year under his belt, which is going to help them. I like Florida and North Carolina. I think Florida has a great chance to repeat because of their defense. Anytime you bring back the number of starters and the athleticism that Florida has, you have to keep them in mind, and the inexperienced offense will have time to gel. On the other team, as I mentioned, North Carolina, this defense is the best in the country because of 2 corners, Robert Williams and Dre Bly. The 2 best on one team can man up with anybody, and they attack you. They get after you.
Kind of like one of each of your teams, the Huskers and the Heels in the Orange Bowl with Penn State and Washington, a great chance to spoil that Alliance game. Never too early for our friend here to start talking Heisman, but obviously Peyton Manning is the clearest favorite preseason since Herschel Walker came back. Your thoughts?
Well, a couple names that come in mind. I think Nebraska, because as my friend mentioned, they're going to make a run, and I think Amon Green will get the bulk of the load. He only played in 10 games last year, so he's got to stay healthy and prove that he's tough enough to get the bulk of the carries. The other hand, I like Ricky Williams down at Texas. Little Earl has moved from the fullback spot back to the tailback spot, and now he's going to get the ball 25 to 30 times a game.
My guy, Curtis Enis, Penn State. The reason why? Tailback at Penn State, a gifted runner. He's going to get the Eastern vote. I tell you one thing, this guy also has one thing going for him. Penn State's going to win. They might win them all. They're going for the national title. They're going to look for one guy on that team, and it's Curtis Enis.
Quickly, Saturday's games, Tennessee, Florida, and Bama all have tests at home. Which one gets the biggest scare?
Oh, I think Florida. The inexperienced quarterback Johnson, I'm telling you, boo, Florida.
I disagree. I think Tennessee and Florida will roll because of the firepower. Alabama will win handily, but typical Bama fashion early. Great defense and the running game.
Appetizers this weekend. The first heavyweight matchups coming up next week in college football. Back to Kenny.
All right, thanks, guys. Morehouse College will kick off its football season with great emotion Saturday. The game against Morgan State has been named the Ennis Cosby Classic in honor of the school's alumnus who was murdered in January. His father, Bill Cosby, will handle the coin toss ceremony, which will precede the first game as coach of Morehouse College for Doug Williams, the 1988 Super Bowl MVP.
We're just past the halfway mark on this edition of SportsCenter. Time to recap the day's top stories, all of which are NFL related as we count down to the first Sunday of regular season action. Deion Sanders is healthy, his back is okay. Our Chris Mortensen reports that primetime fielded punts worked on pass coverage and will start at cornerback for Dallas on Sunday. Jaguars quarterback Mark Brunell healing faster than expected. Instead of being out for 6 weeks, the Jags think he may be listed as their 3rd QB as early as week number 3. Another preseason casualty, Cordell Stewart, will start for the Steelers Sunday against the Cowboys. He says his knee is 90 to 95%. A piece of news from the NBA. The NBA Steals leader will be staying with the Hawks for the next 4 years. Mookie Blaylock agreed to the contract extension with Atlanta today, although terms were not disclosed. Blaylock, a 9-year veteran, averaged a career-high 17 points per game, as well as 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and almost 3 steals this past season. He has at least 200 steals in each of the last 5 years. He can also bomb away from downtown. Mookie, a leader in three-pointers for the Hawks with 883. Kenny?
Mary Pierce has been close all season in the majors, a 2-set loser to Martina Hingis for the Australian title, and she made 4th-round exits at the French and Wimbledon. Last shot for a big one this season in New York, and it's a comeback performance in that she missed the Open last year with an injury. Here we go to her match against Natasha Zvereva. Zvereva serving it up 5-4 in the first set. Little baseline rally, actually a long baseline rally. And then Pierce guns that thing down the line and goes on to win it 7-6 and 6-1. So after a tough first set, Pierce cruises in set 2. Speaking of cruising, Monica Seles barely broke a sweat. She beat Miriam Oremans, and the 5th seed Amanda Kutzer also a winner. So the men now. 3rd set here, Adrian Voinea serving against Andre Agassi. Down 2 sets, Voinea. And it's Agassi just beating him up. Drills this thing across, and a winner. 6-0, 6-2, and 6-2 for Agassi, trying to make a comeback, and Brooke Shields is exceedingly pleased. Agassi needed just 80 minutes to win this one. His next opponent will be Mark Woodford, who upset the 3 seed Yevgeny Kafelnikov in 3 sets. Agassi lost to Woodford 2 weeks ago in Indianapolis, and he's with our man, Sal Palantonio.
Andre, you rolled through the first 2 rounds. You feel like you're playing your best tennis of the summer?
No question. I'm playing my best tennis of the whole year, really, and I'm back in familiar waters to the degree that every time I'm on the court, I'm making improvements, and every time I'm smacking the ball, I'm starting to, you know, improve on it, get better, more confidence, better shot selection, moving, covering some real estate. So every match is going to get better.
Mark Woodford's up next. You feel like you can take him this time?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I can. I think that he's playing great tennis, however, and if I don't step it up another level as the tournament moves on, like every other player, I'll lose. So I know what I need to do against him, but it's going to be hard work, and it's going to require me to do it well.
Are you at a point now where you feel confident enough that you could go much further in this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, if my game keeps moving, so will the draw. Just, you know. But I have to keep improving. I have to keep staying focused, and it's nice to be back here at the Open because that offers me a great focus and a great energy. And if my game improves every match, which so far 2 for 2, yeah, I feel like I can get in a position where I can have the confidence to beat anybody.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Let's go back to the studio.
All right, Sal, way to hustle the interview. Chris Berman's on soon with his 2-minute drill, which is a quarterback thing, which means he'll be talking about the quarterback, Brett Favre. The Jets have had many changes since Bill Parcells arrived. Now the season's arrived. Will the record change? Stay around.
10 minutes and we're out of here.
Hi, Ralph. It's that pipe again. Will it take long?
Nah, only...
Oh,
DirecTV. A couple hours.
Well, lock up when you leave.
Sure.
DirecTV. Over 175 channels, digital picture and sound. It's satellite TV at its best.
Wow, does this blow cable away?
Comfy?
For the choice of movies, cable, and sports packages you can't get anywhere else, it's got to be DirecTV.
How Charlie the Barber eats a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. First, I take a little off the top. Then, I take a little more. There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
1-800-COLLECT presents Max Jerome, Private Eye.
Better call and tell him we're going to be late.
You could save up to 44% if you dialed 1-800-COLLECT.
You're going to need that 44% when you get my bill.
1-800-COLLECT is the easy way to save up to 44%.
Hey, it looks like 2-in-1 is here to get you revved up. One Super Fuel Injector Cleaner plus Octane Booster will really get you going. Rev up your engine with 2-in-1 from Restore.
Today's forecast calls for record-breaking temperatures throughout the metropolitan area.
Avoid gridiron gridlock. Sign up now for ESPN Sports Zone Fantasy Football. You'll get injury updates, ESPN analysis, unlimited free transactions, and much more. Enter today at ESPN.com, home of the most popular fantasy games on the web.
No Tiger, but the Greater Milwaukee Open goes on. How about John Daly? A par putt on 10, and he misses it, pushes it left. Daly finished 4 over for the day, and he missed the cut. On 18, Skip Kendall with a shot for eagle, a 30-footer that goes in. Kendall finished at 4 under. The proverbial shot of the day comes via Steve Stricker on 9 from 50 feet away. Shot of the day, so you figure it's going to go in. And it does. 50-footer for birdie. Stricker finished at 6 under. Clarence Rose, though, is your leader. He holds a 1-shot lead over Spike McCroy. Who is Spike McCroy? Well, a 91 graduate of the University of Alabama, turned pro last year or later that year, but had to go back to qualifying school to get back on the tour. First round of the Pittsburgh Senior Classic is, this is the way it looks as we head into Saturday. A 5-way tie atop the leaderboard. 165 players are within 2 shots of the lead. Last week's winner, Bruce Summerhays, who won the St. Luke's Classic, is one of many at 2 under. And the BMW, Ireland's Padraig Harrington, needs at least a 5th place finish to make the Ryder Cup team. His 8 under 64 puts him a shot ahead of first-day leader Fabrice Tarnot of France. Sam Torrance missed the cut, so he has failed to automatically qualify for the Ryder Cup team for the first time in 9 years. Jose Maria Olazabal needs a top 20 finish to get one of the automatic berths. He just made the cut at 5 under par. Diego Maradona's brilliance on the soccer field has only been matched by his problems off it. Now 36 and in the midst of his 5th comeback, Maradona has once again failed a drug test. The president of his soccer club in Argentina says that he was told that the drug found in Maradona's system was cocaine. Another positive test got Maradona banned for 15 months in 1991. This one will almost certainly end his career. An admitted drug addict, Maradona had vowed to kick the habit for his young daughters. Why are so many athletes having run-ins with the law? Join Bob Lee for the latest edition of the award-winning Outside the Lines, Sports Under Arrest. He'll take a look at the troubled Trailblazers, the Cowboys' attempt to clean house, and how teams, leagues, and agents spin problems with their athletes and when they find trouble. Outside the Lines, Sports Under Arrest, live Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Coming up on SportsCenter, a little football. The uniforms aren't the only thing different about the Buccaneers this year. Boomer drops by with his 2-minute drill, and a fair warning from Bill Parcells as he tries to raise his New York Jets from the dead.
He won't stand for anything less than winning. I think if we go out here and give our best and we lose the game, then we'll probably wind up running on that Monday a long time until we get.
Know what Comcast customers can get besides great cable TV? Sprint long distance, and a deal that'll blow you away. Up to 30 minutes of free long-distance calling every month for a year when you order Sprint from Comcast. Not to mention Sprint Sense with Diamond Minute rates. So call Comcast and start talking up a storm. Comcast. Everything you connect with.
Reedman World Auto Center brings you the Reedman Experience.
The experience you get when you buy a new car or truck at Reedman World Auto Center. An exciting, enjoyable way to buy a new car. An incredible choice of vehicles at Reedman's 150-acre car and truck center. And Reedman's unparalleled customer service. Why have over 1 million customers made Reedman their dealer of choice? See for yourself at Reedman World Auto Center in Langhorne, Pennsylvania.
Reedman. It's an experience you won't soon forget.
Chipper Jones is ready to call this his team, and the Braves are ready to follow him into October. But first, they roll into Fenway to take on the Sox. Braves-Red Sox, the Sunday night baseball game of the week, Sunday at 8 on ESPN.
Alex Zanardi, 3 straight wins have racked up lots of points. For DeFerrin, Tracy, and more, it's time to make a move. The Molson Indy, Sunday at 5 on ESPN.
SportsCenter Saturday debuts 10:30 a.m. this Saturday. Chris Berman discusses the Deion Sanders impact on the Cowboys. $1 million for one car race. Those dollars go to Jeff Gordon if he wins his 3rd straight Southern 500. And Steve Spurrier trying to lead Florida to another national title, this time with a new quarterback. All that on SportsCenter Saturday. After you watch that, watch this. 11:30 a.m. the season debut of College Game Day. Peyton Manning discussing why he's staying around at Tennessee. Jerry Rice came from tiny Mississippi Valley State. Now it's Marshall's Randy Moss drawing big attention at a small place. And in the shadow of Bear Bryant and following the legacy of Gene Stallings, Mike DeBoe's taken over at Alabama. College Game Day. Watch it.
Jets fans do have their one moment of glory to hang on to. Remember 1969 Super Bowl III. Joe Namath predicts, then delivers a victory. Since then, the Jets have been so bad, their fans don't know whether to laugh or to cry. If Bill Parcells has his way, though, the laughing will stop very soon, and it'll be Jet opponents will be in tears. Parcells led the Jets Jets to a 4-0 preseason. Right, it's only the preseason when the Jets usually peak. But as Mark Malone reports, things may be different now.
Everyone just said, you know what, we are so tired of this, we can't take it anymore.
It's a little bit of a disappointment when you struggle, you go 1-15, and over a period of time, you just want to win some football games.
You have that taste in your mouth where people want to do whatever it takes to turn this thing around.
This ball's coming. You got to get there. Set up. Good. Score. There you go. There you go.
What is the biggest difference that Bill actually brings to this from what you had a year ago?
I think the attitude. I mean, he brings his, a winning attitude.
A winning attitude.
A winning attitude.
A winning attitude that hasn't been seen on the Jets side of New York in quite a while. This is a team that not only finished 1-15 last year, but hasn't had a winning season since 1988.
I've been surprised at the receptiveness and sort of the, I guess for lack of a better word, the submissiveness of the players on this team.
The thing Bill brought to this team right now is, has guys believing that, hey, fellas, we stay together and work hard. He'll prepare us to win.
He expects to win. He wants his players to think like that.
That's all Bill is going to demand is respect because he has a track record. He's going to give you things that are applicable and not just a bunch of, car salesman talk.
Parcells' sales pitch, winners breed winners. This is why he's surrounding his new New York team with players from his old New York team. Former Giants are sprinkled throughout the Jets organization in hopes of spreading the ever-elusive winning attitude.
There's a group of guys that basically from Grapevine didn't have that sound leader, but Knox just can take a group of guys by the throat, and guide them in the right direction.
If a guy comes to me and says, does he hate me? Why is he treating me this way? I can pretty much tell them, why. And it may be because they're not focusing day in and day out, and he expects that. Well, I can make a play in the game. Well, he wants to know before the game starts.
Former Giants quarterback Phil Simms visited camp and spoke to Neil O'Donnell. Former Giants kicker Matt Barr is in camp to act as a consultant for Jets kickers.
Matt knows more about kicking than anybody I know. He's a very candid guy. He'll say, Bill, you're going to hate this kicker because he's an excuse maker. As soon as he misses a kick, it's going to be something was wrong.
Former Giants tight end Mark Bavaro asked Parcells if he could help in coaching a Jets tight end corps, including much maligned 1995 first-round draft pick Kyle Brady.
I'm here just to, help pass on the technical part of the game. From what I can see, his footwork, handwork, steps, stance, all that kind of stuff.
Coaches can tell you what they expect of you and what they want you to do, but don't always have as much of an ability to tell you how to get there. He has a good ability to let you know those finer details.
Do you feel like perhaps you've got a little bit of that Giants magic that Bill had back in years past here now? Well, the only magic I like that they had was going to the Super Bowl.
I'm not so sure it's a Giant thing. I think Bill has a formula, and it goes with him wherever he goes. So if he was in Raider Black, it would be the Bill Parcells formula.
He won't stand for anything less than winning. I think if we go out there and give our best and we lose the game, then we'll probably wind up running on that Monday a long time until we get it right.
Let me tell you something about football. Winning helps. Losing doesn't.
That sums it up. Mark Malone reporting there. In his previous stints with the Giants and the Patriots, it took Parcells 4 years to get his team to the Super Bowl. So make your reservations for the year 2000, Jet fans. Now, the Jets should be much improved from their 1-15 record last season. Then again, they couldn't be much worse.
NFL Training Camp Report is brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for a crisp, clean, classic taste.
Wayne SportsCenter continues. It's that time of the year again. The Swami, Chris Berman, looking into that crystal ball to see how Cordell Stewart and the Steelers will do as they open against Dallas in Week 1.
makes a summer party come alive like McDonald's Chicken McNuggets. They're wild, they're cool, and right now they're on sale. Get 6 for 99 cents, 9 for $1.59, and 20 for $2.99. Nobody parties like McNuggets. So get down and go wild with McNuggets this summer. Only at my McDonald's.
Your heart pounds. Your head rings. Your palms sweat. Imagine how the drivers feel. CART Championship Auto Racing Teams. Feel the speed.
Since 1851, the Bristol University School of Football has been an intellectual haven for asking questions and seeking answers. A place which challenges and enlightens young minds in the academic pursuit of football. Led by Dean Berman, the faculty prepares students to meet the challenges of the 21st century and beyond.
Here at Bristol University, we seek veritas, or the truth.
The Bristol University School of Football. To know is to understand.
Just a little thank you to everyone who recently voted us #1 in customer loyalty. Hopefully, we didn't forget anyone. Gateway computers feature Intel Pentium processors. To find out why our customers are so loyal, just give us a call at 1-800-GATEWAY.
Two-Minute Drill is brought to you by Gateway 2000 Direct Personal Computers.
For a complete look at Week 1 of the NFL season, check out Prime Monday. Mike Tirico and company get you ready for Monday night's game in Green Bay as well. A piece of Packer present. Leslie Visser has a backstage visit with Brett Favre and a part of Packer Past with Paul Hornig. Monday night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Prime Monday leads you up to the Labor Day night matchup between the Packers and the Bears. See the Super Bowl champs and the Bears on ABC Sports at 9 Eastern. And if you think you're eager to get the NFL season underway, you haven't been around the office with Chris, I'm Not Your Beast of Berman. With the Week 1 edition of the 2-Minute Drill, that's a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll. Here's the Swami.
Welcome back to Swami Country. They don't make filters like they used to. 19 years of riding the reins. That's a lot of time in the old saddle. When opening day rolls around, it does put a little hitch and you're giddy up. 19 years of cowboy. Who else can say that? Ed Too Tall Jones wore the colors proudly for 15 years. Nobody was more impressive wearing the star than Hall of Famer Bob Lilly, but he checked in at 14 seasons. Nope. The Schwam has them all beat. Even Bill Bates and Mark 2 and 8, impressively starting their 15th seasons as Cowboys. To quote Aerosmith, we're back in the saddle again. What does the preseason mean? For quarterbacks, obviously, it can mean some danger, but records don't mean much, or do they? The Pack picked up where they left off, a perfect 5-0. Brett and Favre and company looked sharp. The defense allowed the fewest points per game. Pittsburgh also a perfect 5-0. 155 points scored, the NFL best. To me, Cordell Stewart is the league's most intriguing player. Jacksonville lost Mark Brunell, but Rob Johnson came out of mothballs to lead the Jags to a 4-0 August. And how about the Jets? Bill Parcells installed his winning ways. They were 4-0. Since 1980, up through last year, 23 teams have had undefeated preseasons. 14 of them made the playoffs. Look at that 61%, Jets fans. On the other side of midnight, the 0-4 Baltimore Ravens, the 0-4 Tennessee Tuxedos, who may see just as few folks as they saw in Houston, and surprisingly, Carolina went 0-4 after a 12-4 season. Kerry Collins got hurt. They couldn't stop the run. Not a good omen because since 1980, 22 teams have been winless in August. Only 2 of them have made the playoffs. But take heart, Panther fans. General Manager Bill Polian was GM of the 1990 0-4 Bills. They went to the Super Bowl. Lots new this year, 11 new coaches and 2 new uniforms. The Broncos crushed their orange and are now the Blue Nuns. Boo! And the Bucs sacked their beloved orange. The new unis are okay, but they should have kept orange as the secondary color, not the third one. Nevertheless, we're picking the Bucs to make the playoffs. That's right. You heard it. The Buccaneers in the playoffs. But how can you question the Schwam? Last year, a solid 41-36. And may we remind you, opening day is August 31st. The Swami is undefeated lifetime in August. The marquee game this week, Dallas at Pittsburgh. Super Bowls 10, 13, and 30 revisited. I predict 2,000 yards rushing this season by the Cowboys backfield, not including Emmitt Smith. A 1,400 for Calvin Hill, 600 for Robert Newhouse, both hired by Jerry Jones this season. But in a great game, the Cordell era has begun. 23-20 Steelers. The Bills will win games this year playing in the teens. Here's one of them, 19-13 over the Vikes. Wait till you see how much fun the Patriots will have with Pete Carroll, 27-13 over the Bulls. I was going to pick the Seahawks for the playoffs, but they fired one of the best player personnel men anywhere, Mike Allman. I thought they knew what they were doing. Apparently, they don't. Opening day upset. Jets 21-20 in the Great Pacific Northwest. Dick Vermeil hasn't won in 15 years. He's due. Rams 23-13 over Ditka's Saints. And what about the Super Bowl? Well, everyone's on the pack. My friend Mike Holmgren doesn't need the added pressure of a Swami pick, so it's the 49ers. Against? Well, I made up my mind on our family vacation this summer to Yellowstone. If I didn't see any buffalo on our last day in the park, then the Bills were through. 8:20, almost nightfall. I'd given up. Went around the corner, there they were. My son Doug and I got closer for a better look. Yes, a herd of buffalo in the Wyoming twilight. So, for the 10th straight year, San Francisco against Buffalo in the Super Bowl. I'm a Taurus. I'm stubborn, okay? Time to ride off into the sunset. Have a great season, Pop.
Thank you, Boomer. Sunday opening day for NFL Countdown. Tom Jackson talks with Jerry Rice about the changes in the 49ers and Troy Aikman on the Cowboys' attempts to clean up their image and how he almost retired.
I gave it serious consideration because I'm not interested in just going out and going through the motions. If we're not an organization or a team that is committed to doing everything that we can to be competitive, then I don't want to be a part of it.
NFL Countdown Sunday, 11:30 in the morning Eastern Time. Then at 7 Eastern, after the games are over, it's NFL Prime Time. The best highlight show in the biz comes your way on ESPN. And coming up at the bottom of the hour, Peyton Manning, looking to win the Heisman and a national championship, will preview the season to be after SportsCenter.
You're a judge at America's most prestigious beer competition. You can't see anything. Can't see the labels. All you've got to go on is taste. So who wins the gold medal for best tasting American premium lager? Original Coors. Close your eyes and taste the one that won for taste. Original Coors.
Hey, Max. Why just sit around when you could have fun in the new Ford CX2?
Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide. Everywhere I go, your face I see. Every step I take, you take with me. Nowhere to run to, baby.
The new Ford CX2. Grab life by the wheel. Max?
Now get 2.9% financing for 48 months on the new Ford CX2.
Tomorrow. Tailback Ken Oxenine from Virginia Tech is 6'1", 233, led the Big East in scoring. He's an inside runner. At 7:30, Peyton in primetime.
Peyton Manning, 106,000 fans singing Rocky Top in the best setting for college football, but they can't overlook the Red Raiders.
Virginia Tech Rutgers at 12:30. Texas Tech Tennessee at 7:30. A new season of college football. Tomorrow, only on ESPN.
A big-time college football done in a big-time ESPN way this weekend. Virginia Tech, Rutgers slam into each other on ESPN at 12:30 tomorrow. Texas Tech and Tennessee go at each other here on ESPN at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. That's not all. ESPN2 has its own schedule. North Carolina State, Syracuse kicking off at noon. Then at 6 Eastern, Southern Miss and Florida with the bearded Charlie Steiner on the call.
Let's check baseball interleague action here. The Charlie Steiner bearded line got me for a second. Then Braves lead the Red Sox 1-0. Nomar Garciaparra with his 29-game hitting streak flied out in his first at-bat. Solo homer for Fred McGriff, accounting for the only run there. Phillies and Tigers are scoreless in the bottom of the second, and the Cubs lead the Indians 1-0. They're in the bottom of the first. The Cubs jumping ahead early thanks to an Oral Hershiser wild pitch. Kenny.
And a quick rundown of the top stories. Deion Sanders set to run with receivers and or run as a receiver in the Dallas opener. He practiced without back trouble today in Dallas. Jacksonville quarterback Mark Brunell's prayers are apparently being answered. He ran today. His knee's recovering well. Could be the third quarterback for that team by the third game of the year. And the Pittsburgh starting quarterback Cordell Stewart says his knee's 90 to 95% okay. He, of course, is the starter this week. One other quick note, P. Rose Jr. being called up to the bigs, playing for Cincinnati.
And Junior Seau has not made the trip. He's still hurt, so he will not play in the season opener for the Chargers. That's it for us. Next SportsCenter at 11 Eastern with Steve Levy and Bob Stevens. For Pam Ward, I'm Larry Biel.
And I'm Kenny Mayne. College football preview show is right away.